hot out. It's summertime here and it's like a sauna outside. Enough about me. Hi, welcome to my video. Today we got something cool, brand new for my channel. We've got a Victory, almost said it, a Victory amp. This is called the Victory VC35 The Copper. And huge thanks to Victory Amps for sending it out. This isn't a paid video. I do get to keep the amp, and I've been playing with it, and we're gonna go through the amp and talk about it and hear it a ton and hear it through a couple guitars and do hopefully a nice deep dive. And I'm gonna keep this manual out. Usually these are throwaways to me, but I actually read through it and it's well written, and there's some funny parts in here that I wanna point out. Where am I looking? I don't even know where the cameras are. Okay, so you can see it's a lunchbox type all tube amp. I'm gonna put the specs on screen. And I'm not gonna focus so much on the specs. I'm gonna put that on the screen so you can read it. I wanna focus mainly on dialing in a couple of tones. A nice clean tone, and then a nice gritty tone, and then a nice dirty tone. And I almost said Vox earlier, but that's exactly what this is modeling or targeted towards. I think I'm using the right term. Probably a Vox AC30. I have a Vox AC15. I've never actually had an AC30 on my channel. The AC15 is a weird kind of amp. It's sort of, some days I love it and other days I don't. And it's kind of weird. Like, I know some people don't like Vox because of the mids being cut out. This has a solution for that. So I think this is a really cool alternative if you're looking for that Vox sound, but it's, from what I can tell, way more versatile for what the features are on this compared to what exists today from Vox. So let's get going. Let's go left to right, talk about the features and specs. I said I wouldn't talk about the specs too much. Let's just talk about the features mainly. So you got one channel, it's one input, and then you've got a gain on the far left, and then you've got a master volume. So I will say something, and they even say this in the book. This is not a bedroom home amp. This is a gigging amp. They say the best tones will be created when you crank this thing. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna crank it. I've got my earbuds or earplugs. I'm in a room where I can play loud, so we'll take advantage of that and hopefully capture some really cool tones. And so yeah, going across, it's got a switch here called a bass cut. You can drop the bass way down. Bass knob, not a bass snob. If you're a bass snob, turn off the bass. Mid boost, this thing is super powerful. Are we looking at that screen right there? Middle, this is the EQ section. Got a middle control, which an AC15 doesn't have, or an AC series amp doesn't have. Treble, reverb, digital reverb, sounds good from when I've played it. We'll check it out. Tone control. So if you have a, I don't know the tone control, or they call it a tone cut. I know it on the AC15. It's a reverse. It's a reverse tone cut. So like the more you go clockwise, the more it cuts the tone. This one is not that. This one adds tone, normal. I don't know why the tone cut exists the way it does on an AC15. And then you got your master control, and then you've got a high and a low. So high mode and standby. You warm up the tubes, the main power is on the back. We'll flip it around and take a look on the back as well. I'm not gonna actually lift it up. I'll just show some images. This thing is heavy. So going back to that, you got 35 watt mode and 11 watt mode. So initially I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's really cool. You'll have almost a 10 watt, which I have a lot of amps that have been 10 watts. So it'll be good for the bedroom. There is not much of a difference between 35 and 11 in terms of volume, sound being produced. It's more of a tonal character change. And that's the way I understand it from watching other videos, because I thought maybe, oh no, is it not working right? Because typically on an amp with a wattage change, you hear a big drop. You won't really notice it so much on this one, but I will show that. So let's get plugged in, and then I'll talk about all my thoughts at the end about the amp. Just get some tones, and I am going out here to this cabinet in the back. Looks like I'm touching it almost. A Rev, got a 1x12 cream back in there. It's a speaker that I really like. And got a foot switch, which can turn off the FX loop, which is in the back. I don't have anything currently plugged into that. And you can also turn off the reverb. So you can go clicky, click, click, do, do. It's made in England. It's made in England, handmade. And on the back, let's show a picture. Let's bring it up. You can do the biasing yourself. It's got the option to plug in the probes. If you don't know what biasing is, I'm not going to cover that in this video. You can look that up. Really nice. It's right there. So if you change the tubes, you can do your biasing. It's got the effects loop, and then it's got multiple options for different ohms and different speaker configurations. Going out, right? Like you need this plugged into a speaker. Say plug it into a head. Go ahead, plug it into another head. Watch them do whatever they do. Explode? I don't know. The thing I was talking about in here that's funny, that we'll get to the guitars in just a second, is talking about the power, because there is a voltage selector, so you can change, depending if you're North American, or you can go, the UK is a 230 volt, and then USA is 115 volt. Let me see here, let me find it. If you do find yourself in a strange town where the mains voltage is different to home, and you've got blisters on your feet, it will be necessary to switch this selector. So, they actually wrote it like a real person. It's not just this stale, like AI written manual. The only other thing different to mention, the tubes in this are not tubes that I'm familiar with, the names. I mean, somebody's familiar with it, but I'm just not. I'm not a tube guy, first of all. I don't know all my tubes, but this one has, ready? You've got an ECC83 dual triode. You got an EF184, and from what I know, that's not common. And then you've got another ECC83, and then you've got 3 EL84s. So that's covering everything. And if you'd like to know more, would you like to know more? Find this manual. Maybe it's on their website. You can read it. Probably is. I was going to put it on here, but it says on the top, hot surface, do not touch. So we won't. So let's get it warmed up. Make sure we're in the middle here. Make sure we're in focus. So the main power on the back, you can see the little purple gem turns on. We'll start it in low, and then we'll work our way up. And try everything. I'll just turn everything to 0, like that. First we'll try a Telecaster, blue Telecaster. Who would have thought? I like blue Telecasters a lot. Who would have thought I like blue Telecasters a lot? I would have thought that, and I even said that. And this is Tele Ultra, so it's got those noiseless single coils. You're like, those aren't real single coils. I don't care. They sound nice, so we'll hear what these sound like. And this is my earbuds, plugs, filters. These are filters. They cut out a lot of the frequencies, so you don't go deaf. And I find usually this here is worse. So yeah, we'll try some. Maybe we'll do some clean with this guy, and then I got humbuckers in this Heritage. It's off screen there, but let's see. Am I keeping you up? Did I mention it's 40 Celsius outside? So, all right, let's kick in the, I don't want to stay out of camera there. I'm trying to stay out of the camera. Low mode, it would help if this is plugged in. It's key. You can go wireless if you want to, but I recommend plugging at least one cable into every guitar so you get something. And we'll check our levels, and we will start with, bringing things up. Let's just go master at half. Keep the reverb off for now. Am I blocking the screen? So right now we've got the tone cut. Reverb. Sorry, treble. There we go. That's just me getting things checked out. Let's check it out. Let's just do the reverb right now to see what kind of level you get. was the digital reverb maxed out. Let's dial it all the way back. I'm gonna give it a little touch of reverb. And I said, let's try to get a nice clean. And I'm in the bridge on the telly. So let's bring up, let's get the bass in here. Hear the difference. Wait, was that bass cut on? Oh, sorry, the bass cut wasn't on. I had it reversed. These two are reversed. So that's like mid boost and that's bass cut. So that was the bass on and now with it off. Let's just do that. Cut. And so like that's, I guess you'd use that if you're trying to cut through a mix, maybe if you're playing live or something. But for the rest of the video, we're keeping it on. And then the mid boost, that's huge. That's a big change when you do that. Right? So we're gonna keep that on. Let's actually try the bass down and the treble up more. Down, bring the master up a little bit, and I'm just going for clean. I'm not trying to break it up at all. I'll do this again later, but this is the difference between the 11 watt mode and the upper one. So let's just strum a couple times. Oops, I turned it off. It's a big difference. Let's try that again. It was cutting out and I was like, wow, I really lied. It's like, that's way quieter. And then there you go, the reverb and the effects loop. I like this, the reverb is really nice. It's soft, it's not like overpowering. If I had to guess what kind it was. Maybe a Hall? I don't think it's a spring. I don't think it's a plate. Maybe it's either a plate or a Hall from my great knowledge of reverb. Very cool. Let's get a little bit gritty with this one, and then we'll do the higher gain with the humbuckers like I mentioned. This one has a phase S1 switch, I mean. Let's gritty it up a little bit, as nobody would say. So what you do is dial down your master, right? I'm gonna bring up the gain a bit. That's my kind of tone. That's the kind of stuff I like. All right, let's switch guitars. I've got this guy, sound decimal reader. Sound decimal, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna crank it up. as loud as I can. As long as that's in camera on that one, I don't care if I'm just blocking that. This is just for a moment. You'll actually be able to see a level difference if there is much of one. So let's go into the neck pickup. I'm just gonna put everything to middle, right? Let's bring the gain all the way down and crank the master. And then I'm gonna slowly bring up, this is gonna be crazy. I'm actually gonna put in the other one because usually I only wear one. This is the ear that's facing the speaker, so let's put this in. And this is the 11-watt mode. I'm gonna slowly drive it with everything at 12 o'clock, mid boost on, bass cut off, reverb down to like a quarter, and we're gonna see how loud it gets. This is not a tone test. This is just a crazy volume level to show you this is for gigging, right? Because that's what they said. When I say they, I'm just talking about the manual. That's the only person I know. Reference. Oh, let's get that out of the way. There. 70 dBs. Me talking, 69 dBs. Okay. Five. Okay. That's too loud. You're an old person, you're too loud. That was ridiculous. Yeah, like pretty crazy. I'm in a small room, right? I guess if you have it really cranked, the mid and the bass cut might be ideal as well. If you're getting too blown out. Pretty good to my ears, at least in the room. Give it some more reverb here, and let's see what we can do. Holy shit, that's loud and good. Like I'm right in front of the speaker, so I'm hearing it pretty clearly, even with that thing in. and hopefully I captured some good tones. Yeah, so there you go. It's, yeah, gig worthy for sure, without a doubt. I'm gonna let it cool down for a second. They say to cool it down in the book. Wow, it's so hot. If I'm sweating, it's because it's not that hot in here, but it's super hot outside. And I gotta stop saying that. Nobody cares. Suck it up. You gotta have your guitar, work out. It's too hot, be less hot. All right, my thoughts on it. Let's just go through my list of things in my head that I jotted down. Compact. It's pretty heavy though. Like look at that. Look how much I'm trying. What is it, like 20 pounds or something? It feels heavier than it looks. She didn't say that. Nobody said that. Just because it's so compact, everything's like crunched in there. So it's loud, gig worthy. Yep. Mid boost is awesome. Reverb sounds good. Effects loop is great. If you use those, I typically don't, so it doesn't really matter to me. Self-biasing access on the back is awesome. Every amp should have that. They do it on the revs. They do it on this one. And that's really great. Because it's not that difficult once you learn about biasing your revs. Yeah, heavy. It's expensive. It's, I guess, a couple of things. It's handmade in England, so there's the cost right there. I don't need to explain anymore. Not for everyone, because it's not for bedroom levels. Like, I mean, you could turn it down, but they're not recommending that. They want you to play it loud. It says in the damn book. And the high and low, keep in mind, let's turn you off. Good. Not a big jump. I mean, I heard it when I was cranked, but I was maxed out. So that's where it really took advantage of everything. Again, playing through a 12-inch creamback, mic'd up with a couple of mics. I don't know if I'm going to be using both mics. Royer R10 and Sennheiser E906. And that's the Victory VC35 The Copper. They have a bunch of cool names of all their different lines of amps. This is the one, if you're looking for a Vox style amp, this is the one you want to check out. But they have other ones too. They have other Coppers. I'm a great one. All right, again, super thanks to Victory for sending this over. It's gonna go back up in my new stack of heads. I'm kind of going for a head thing this year. I'm trying to get ahead. I'm just gonna end it right there before I get into trouble saying things that are not okay. All right, as always, hey, if you like this shirt, you can always go check out my merch and check me out on Patreon. I have a Patreon account, supports the channel, and I'll have links to everything below if you want to check anything out. That's it. As always, play guitar and have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bong, body, bum.